PJX Resources is a discovery-oriented company, like John said. There's your typical disclaimer. Our strategy is pretty simple. We look at either the best place to find a deposit is around existing deposits. We've done this in the past. The challenge has always been, how do you get a land position? In Timmins, we went in there and picked some land that isn't related to gold, isn't related to a VMS deposit. It was a nickel play. Back in the 80s when I was with Noranda, nobody was looking for nickel. They were all focused on a Kidd Creek or gold, and we were focused on this Desert Porcupine Fault Zone. 20 years later, junior company I was running said, let's go in there and look at the nickel opportunity. It took about 4 years to consolidate the ground and drill, and finally we hit 72 meters of 1.14% nickel. Stock went from 20 cents to $4 in 4 weeks. It was great. So that was a financial crisis. Everything fell apart. And so we decided, the same management team, to do something bigger. And that's, can we get an actual mining district while everyone's leaving? And we did. So we've gone into the Sullivan Mining District. It's taken years, but we've been able to consolidate at 750 square kilometers of property. And in that process, we've identified over 20 target areas. And I'm only going to talk about today 3 of those target areas that are related to a SEDEX-style Sullivan deposit, and 1 about a gold target, reduced intrusive related gold system. This is the BC government's historical mine production. A lot of people don't know, but the Sullivan was the biggest producer of silver in Canada when it operated. Closed in 2001, operated for 90 years. So 297 million ounces of silver, 8.4 million tons of lead, 7.9 million tons of zinc. If you just take today's metal prices and multiply that out, you're probably looking at about $70 billion worth of value. But it also had gold, tin, copper, cadmium, antimony, bismuth. It also had indium, gallium, germanium, those critical metals that only China has. So what does it look like, the Sullivan? It was a bedded SEDEX model. What I want you to notice here is the actual bands. So the main bed was 3 to 24 meters. The A band, B band, C band, D band, it's anywhere from 0.6 to 3 meters thick. But they're stacked. That's an important thing to think about. So we went in, this is a map you can see of the Cranbrook-Kimberley area, and you can see the Sullivan mine, a little black star, but take a look at those creeks. You've got 65 kilometers of placer gold in the creeks. Now, I worked in Timmins. From Timmins to Harker Holloway is 65 kilometers. That's a huge area. And notice the creeks are draining different areas. So they're not all coming from the same source. There should be multiple gold deposits here. Why aren't they? Well, one of the things is everyone focused on a SEDEX, Sullivan style. But if you see there's the Vulcan Tectonic Zone, what is that? That's a big structural zone that's beneath the Rocky Mountains. They first hit in Alberta, comes right through this area. Proposed we do this back in the 1980s when I was with Noranda working here. Never got around to doing it. But it's also intersected by the Rocky Mountain Trench Fault. So where those 2 big structures intersect, and the Rocky Mountain Trench Fault is the Tintina Fault in the Yukon and Alaska, you get all this gold. So we've consolidated all these properties. All those colored areas on the map are the 750 square kilometers. But the most important thing about this map are the dots. The dots are yellow targets, they're gold targets. The red are base metal, either copper, zinc, silver, lead targets. And you'll see up in the right-hand corner is our Dewdney Trail property. And we've just discovered the Estella Basin target, the Lewis Ridge target, and we just announced the Grundy target. We're also going to cover quickly the Gar target. That's a different beast. That's a gold target. This is what was found by our prospectors. We managed to get this property about 4 years ago, or we finally consolidated the property 4 years ago. In the first year up there, our prospectors found these massive sulfide boulders, Sullivan grade, Sullivan style. This picture is looking south from the mine road toward what is the Estella mine right in the center of the picture. The Estella mine was a vein type deposit operating in the 50s and 60s. And it produced zinc, lead, silver, cobalt, and was a feeder type system through what could be a Sullivan type deposit. In 2024, we drilled and we hit an AB horizon and a C horizon and a D horizon. You can see where the Sullivan deposit style and grade boulders are found, right at the bottom of that mountain slope. Now you're looking at an aerial image that John was showing, and right in the center in that cirque you're looking at there is the historical Estella mine. You can see the mine road and the Lewis Creek Road at the bottom of the valley. Great access. This is one of the boulders that's Sullivan style, Sullivan grade. You can see the fine beds of sulfide, and it's like 12% combined lead, zinc plus silver. And it's disrupted. You can see it broken. That's because these basins are collapsing and you get disruption, you get breaking in them. And here you can see another boulder, and this has fragments in it, and those are massive sphalerite fragments, so they're even higher grade. So we know there's higher grade mineralization. These are some of the grades, but the important thing here I want you to show is it's zinc, lead, silver, copper, gold, cadmium, cobalt, indium. Those boulders are found right there. It's only about 500 meters from the Estella at it. Last year, late in the year, we hit this quake zone, 63 meters. That thing there has consistent, I went past it, but whatever, consistently zinc, copper, lead, everything in it. And it shows that it's a big plumbing system. That quake zone is shown on this map right in the center. It's north-south oriented. You can see the 3 drill holes that intersected it. It's open to the south, open to the north. So that's the kind of system that you need to make big deposits. Prospectors looked, why hasn't this been found? That red area you see there, or pink area, that's an intrusion that's capping the entire rock. Or the mountainside. It's dipping parallel to the mountainside so no one could see anything underneath. Our prospectors prospected to the south, up in the top end of the cirque, and they found these boulders. That one on the left had 546 grams per ton silver, 32% lead. The one on the right was sphalerite. We don't even have the assay for that. But it's nice looking boulders. Where are they? 800 meters to the south. So we know we have a big zone. I'm going to whip through some of this. This is a map, a geology map with the soil geochem for zinc. It's impressive. So you can see the Estella is the cross-hammered yellow dot, and the actual boulders are found just to the right of that. And then you have the zinc and soil. But up to the north, you have a very large zinc and soil anomaly, and that's what we're calling our Lewis Ridge target. Also get termalinization, which is classic for venting. This is the lead. This is the silver, copper. You can come to the booth and see all this, and gold. So we've got a huge geochem anomaly sitting along the ridge. There you can see it, the large soil anomaly. But that's not all. We also found this. Our prospectors found this last year. Massive sulfide associated with an adit that has never been found before. They also found these rocks. The one on the left is a classic type of TSX rock. This has barium, zinc, lead, manganese in it. So you've got a venting environment. And on the right is cauticule alteration, which you find in the Sullivan. There over on the left, we call it the Grundy Creek target. It's a big target zone. Remember, this is a soil geochem map. If you look to the left, you'll see the big anomaly or the big trend, and it's got a whopping mag with it. That's never been drilled. Here, you're standing on the property, you can see the Kimberley Ski Hill and the Sullivan Mine, 25 kilometers to the west of us. And this is the rail line and the highway just south of us, or just on the property, the west side of the property. You can see we're drilling up in the mountain. We have the Estella Basin and the Grundy Creek. So all that ground in between down to the highway, we've staked because that's a perfect area to put a concentrator or mill in. We own over 200 square kilometers. I'm going to jump quickly because I don't have much time to the GAR target. If you look at that orange area on the west, the Zinger property, you have the GAR target. That's a reduced intrusion-related gold system, just like you would see at Fort Knox in Alaska, or possibly the Valley deposit that Snowline has. This we just announced yesterday, and people are amazed. This rock, you can come to the booth and see it, 1.36 grams per ton gold. The gold is visible gold. It sits with pyrite. There's a lot of pyrite, but are visible in the veins themselves. The big purple and pink unit on the left is the intrusion with the red veins going through it. The right is your gold in soil anomaly. It's 1,600 meters, never been drilled. These are all the characteristics. It's got visible gold, same as reduced intrusion-related gold. Gold occurs in sheeted veins. Country rocks are sediment, hornfels, skarn. Associated elements, bismuth, tellurian, tungsten, everything. Granite to granite diorite intrusion, Cretaceous in age. So we've got the exact same thing as you'd see in those. This is the final map. I'll close off here. We have $186 million shares outstanding, 1.5 million in the bank, no debt. If we bring down our warrants, which aren't that far off, we'd have 12.6 million. We're going to go drill the Estella target area, and then after that, we'll be looking at what we do with the GAR. All these targets and everything, our plan is to make a discovery, work on that, spin that into a new company. That's our strategy. It's very simple. And we have over 20 targets we can go with. So it's just going to be a continual run. Thank you very much, and come and see us. That'll be